5,000? 10,000? That's no big deal. Maybe $20,000?
$50,000 cash. That's the big deal at Jubilee Ford. When you buy or lease any new or used car or light truck, you'll automatically be eligible to win $50,000. Now, I know what you're going to say. If he's giving away $50,000, he's going to have to charge more. Well, you're wrong. Because as well as having our best deal guarantee, every single new car and light truck is clearly marked with a retail price and a list of equipment. So you can't go wrong. If you're even remotely interested in purchasing a new or used car or light truck, now's the time, and Jubilee Ford is your dealership for $50,000.
Jubilee Ford, Saskatoon, $50,000 big deal.
To look back and say, well, all those aspects of life with youth has become recognized in such a way that I'm in 2 halls of fame, and I have an institution named after me. Meaning, it's quite a humility, but it's quite a proud and wonderful thing to be recognized after a lifetime work through sports and primarily through youth.
Good evening, everyone. It was the Mario Lemieux show tonight in the Patrick Division Final. After taking a beating in Game 4 in Philadelphia, Lemieux came out tonight with fire in his eyes. He tied 3 single playoff records as the Penguins outgunned Philadelphia tonight 10-7.
It was vintage Lemieux in the first period. He takes a pass from Paul Coffey at the 2:15 mark and beats Ron Hextall on the breakaway. It was the start of a great evening for number 66. Then 90 seconds later, Bob Airy and Coffey combined to set up Lemieux for his second. Quickly, it was 2-0 Penguins. The natural hat trick comes before the 7-minute mark of the opening period. John Cullen with a steal at center sends Lemieux away. He beats Hextall with a shot between the pads. It was 3-0 on Lemieux's third of the game. And the holes just get bigger in the Philadelphia defense. Rob Brown sets up Erie, and it's 4-0. A rare moment of celebration for the Flyers in the first period as Tim Kerr leaves for Mike Bullard. His shot dribbles by Tom Barrasso to make it 4-1. But Lemieux strikes one more time in the first period. The puck wound around the boards by Dan Quinn. An open net for Lemieux, his 4th goal of the period, tying a Stanley Cup playoff record set by Tim Kerr. The Flyer frustration is obvious in the second period after Rob Brown scores his 2nd of the game. Hextall gives chase and for his actions is slapped with a 10-minute misconduct. The Flyers make a game of it, scoring 4 times in the third. Brian Propp to Pelle Eklund, who picks the top corner to make it 9-6. Then Tim Kerr lets a quick shot go that beats Barrasso. Kerr's 2nd of the game, 12th of the playoffs. It was 9-7. But that's as close as the game would get. With the Flyer net empty, Erie sets up Lemieux for his 5th goal of the game. 5 goals and 8 points, both tying Stanley Cup playoff records. Before the teams call it a night, a brawl erupts with just 9 seconds left in the third period. Flyer goaltender Ken Reggett gets the worst of the exchange as he is ganged up on by a pair of Penguins. The brawl does end in a draw, but the Penguins win Game 5 of the Patrick Division Final 10-7 to take a 3-2 lead in games.
I've had some great games, but under a lot of pressure like that, a key game for the team, and I think that was one of the best.
And the Montreal Canadiens eliminated the Boston Bruins in the Adams Division Final. The Canadiens downed the Bruins tonight 3-2 to take the division 4-1. But each game in this series was decided by a goal, but it always was the Canadiens who came up with that timely goal to either win it in the third period. Tonight, though, the Bruins got on the board first. Craig Janney steals from Larry Robinson, and over to Bob Joyce, 1-0 as he beats Patrick Waugh. And in the second period, Bobby Smith, the breakaway here. He is stopped, though, by Andy Moog. But then Moog kind of gives up an easy one here. Chris Chelios takes the puck, goes in front, and scores his first of the playoffs. And the Canadiens take a 2-1 lead. Shane Corson, another weak one so-called on Andy Moog to make it 2-1 Canadiens in the second. In the third, this kind of sealed it. Bob Gainey driving to the net, and there's Stephane Richer making it 3-1 Canadiens. The Bruins, though, never said die tonight. Janney to Joyce, his 2nd of the night. He beats Patrick Waugh. He was unbeatable all season long at the Forum, 34 straight. The Canadiens tighten up. They win the series 4-1, and the coaches shake hands. This reverses last year's result when the Bruins upset the Canadiens.
we're a desperate hockey team, and tonight that's basically what we try to play the same way, very desperate. And as a result, we were tentative in a lot of occasions, but we knew that we haven't been playing very well, and this was a big game, and we certainly didn't want to go back to Boston.
Game 3 of the West Centennial Cup Final was played tonight in Humboldt. The Broncos played host to the Vernon Lakers. With the series tied at 1 and the remaining games in Vernon, this one was almost a must for the hometown Broncos. But a disaster in the third period. The Lakers scored the winning goal to down the Broncos 4-3. Humboldt came back from a 4-1 deficit. Corey Belitsky scored a pair, but the Lakers lead the series 2-1. Game 4 in Vernon.
The bridges that span the power of the river, with its fertile banks holding off oceans of prairie, have come to symbolize the